Good morning. I'd like to turn it on to the Dean of School of Public Affairs and Administration, Rutgers University, Dr. Charles Manifield, who, of course, will set the ball rolling. Then each and every one of us will make some remarks before we invite the keynote speaker, Dr. James Kekin, Director of Center for Policy Research at United Nations University. So, you guys cannot hear me? Really? Hello?
There's no problem hearing?
We can hear you.
I can hear you okay, right?
Okay.
But the microphone is not working, is that?
It doesn't seem to be working
I
now.
think it is.
Is it working?
As long as everybody can hear us.
But it shows that it's working, yeah.
Well,
Hello? Is it working now?
Louder.
Okay, I think I can just speak louder.
Yes.
Okay, so I said I'd like to welcome everyone to this annual event we have every year. And part of it also, like the program clearly specifies, is about really stimulating some discussion on key issues that affect our lives in different ways. So before I make the probably brief remarks I'll make along the line, I would like to turn it on to the Dean of the School of Public Affairs and Administration, Dr. Charles Manifield, who will present the salvo really for us to start the program effectively. So my pleasure to invite the Dean to make his opening remarks. Thank you very much.
Okay.
you should speak, turn his microphone.
Okay.
You need to hold it as close as possible to your mouth.
All right, sounds
With the word
good.
problem. And they're basically too short. These are much better.
On behalf of the organizers of this conference, it's my pleasure to welcome each of you here today to the 7th Annual Conference on Media and Governance, where the theme is Redefining Reality, the Intellectual Implications of Living in a Post-Truth World. As many of you know, we affectionately call this conference the Gershowitz Conference. Michael Gershowitz was a faculty member in the School of Public Affairs and Administration at Rutgers University, Newark. He was certainly a learned scholar and a practitioner. He initiated this conference in 2012, and it is a living memorial to all of his work. He initiated it with the purpose of exploring the intersection between journalism and public policy, and in particular, the media's impact on democratic governance in both emerging and advanced democracies. Michael was without a doubt a perfect blend of theory and practice of scholarship in journalism. We also draw upon his talents to advance journalism and practice and education that supports peace. And to that end, we are most grateful for all of the things that he did for us. The conference is without doubt a success because of patience. We look forward to a great day today.
Hello, I am Bob Schick, one of the co-organizers of the conference, and it's anybody who has done something like this with conferences, you know that there's a great deal of planning and preparation in order to have speakers here and setting the program. We are, very pleased to be here today and move forward on this topic, which is such an important topic. Every day we realize how important this topic is. And so I invite you to participate, to take in what is being offered here, and to promote the discussion about this important topic.
I'm told that for you to actually hear very well, whatever he says, nobody challenged that. But today you cannot say that anymore. There's so much opinionated journalism, there's so much politicians are lying with impunity. They are not even ashamed of that. So ordinary people, so you don't know what is truth, so it's really difficult. So we think we could examine even the philosophy of truth itself, what it means to us, and what truth means in different geographical regions, because some of these things are almost cultural specific, because what perhaps is truth in a certain culture might not be truth in other areas. So we think we could just have a conversation along these lines with particular emphasis on the media, because as purveyors of ideas, we shape opinions and all that. So, and we also think about our future generations so that they don't have a distortion of our facts. Because if we allow certain things to prevail, you know, sometimes when you lie and lie and lie over a period of time, it becomes like, you know, the truth. So we are looking at some form of misrepresentation in terms of how we see reality. What is really real in our eyes and what is real in real time. So these are contradictory issues. We thought we could have some real expose, real discussion on some of these things. Nobody has an answer probably, but let's venture into it and try to understand and define truth and understand it in the light of current day political, economic, and social realities of our times. So I like to really welcome all of you, and we'll expect that we'll have a very stimulating discussion, even more people coming and looking at these issues in different dimensions. I really thank you so much for coming. At this point, I would like to turn it over to Gabriel, who will also present some perspectives, especially his father, actually, like the dean said, was very instrumental in setting up this lecture series. And we've been able to really keep it on going for a while, actually since even when he died. And you won't believe it that, you know, that's why it was very important that we name this conference after him. The year we're planning 2014 conference, he actually died in his office working hard. You can imagine. So that will tell you how this man was and how seriously he took his job. So it's something that touches us. And besides that, this was a gentleman who was a journalist before he got into the academia. So you could see a blend of theory and practice in this unique gentleman. So it's very critical that we want to leave this thing as a way to immortalize his name. All right. So and his son actually has been very faithful, participating in almost all the conferences. Last year your mother came, and it was also a very moving period for all of us. So I'd like to thank you for coming, and you want to make some few remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'll keep it very brief, leave it to the real experts to educate everyone in the room and foster a dialogue about these important topics. I would just say it's very meaningful to be here for the fourth time, I believe. My father really loved Rutgers, and he really loved CMPI. Someone who was a gentleman and a gentleman that I often, as a corporate lawyer and negotiator, have to remember who my father was, and always remember that at the end of the day, it's all about treating each other with respect. That's obviously something that has been, unfortunately, very much absent from our national dialogue for some time now, and it's organizations like the School of Public Policy and like CMPI who are resilient in the face of those challenges today, and when the political winds or the other macro factors and the tides change, will be there as strong advocates still tomorrow, setting forth an agenda of collaboration and looking to the future and to make it a better future together. So thank you again. Also, very happy to say my fiance is here, and Jen never got to meet my father, but I'm really glad you're here. So welcome. Thank you, everyone.
So I think at this juncture, I also like to invite to the high table Dr. James Coquin, the Director of Center for Policy Research at the United Nations University, who will present a keynote speech for us to begin to really have this conversation that we're here to deal with. And as a matter of fact, he also talked on issues relating to the whole concept of fake news and what that means. So I'm sure it will be very stimulating. So Dr. James, you're welcome to the podium. Yeah, sure. I'm going to vacate this place.